What's up, it's Cinema Shogun here, and we've been talking about JoJo Siwa and her transition from a child star to trying to be like this edgy, I guess, gay icon that is now making music and stuff to appeal to adults. And this transition has not gone smoothly. In fact, this transition has backfired in every single way imaginable. But when I watch what's happening with JoJo Siwa, I immediately notice that I've seen this before. I've seen this before multiple times. And I don't understand how other people haven't caught on yet. You see, this is the same playbook. Hollywood, the music industry, they use the same playbook time and time again. Sure, you may get caught up in the drama, you may get caught up in the tabloids, but most of the time, people don't sit down and think, and they don't realize that a lot of this celebrity drama and stuff is manufactured to keep you engaged, to keep you interested, to keep you talking. Half of this stuff isn't even real. But every time in the music industry and in Hollywood, when a star or a child star or someone with an innocent image wants to make the transition to a bad boy or a naughty girl, you know what I mean? Once they want to make that transition into being the edgy person in Hollywood as opposed to the innocent person in Hollywood, there's three things they always do. Three things that you can always look for. Immediately, they try to show you that they're doing drugs and alcohol. Now, JoJo Siwa is 21. If she wants to drink, she can. If JoJo Siwa wants to fire up a blunt, I'm not going to stop her. But you see, when someone makes this transition into being edgy, they want the world to know, like the world has to know that I'm drinking and getting drunk all of the time now. The world needs to know that I'm doing drugs. Now, with JoJo, I don't know about the drugs. But it's obvious when on your 21st birthday, you decide to go to Disney World and try to drink and try to get into as many photo ops as possible. And that even backfired because JoJo Siwa, for the most part, walked around Disney and no one even cared. In fact, some of the people there who saw her said she was being obnoxious and they were annoyed by her. But this is a public publicity stunt. Now, I covered this in my video yesterday, but basically now every time JoJo's on stage or every time you see her in public, she has to make sure you know that she's drinking alcohol. And it's cringy, it's unnatural. Like naturally, if you just have a drink or you're drinking, you're just drinking. You're not, oh, I need to go to Disney World. I need to create a scene right around the little hut that serves alcohol. I got to make a scene here. Everyone needs to take videos and pictures of me drinking so they know that I'm an edgy 21-year-old now. And then, of course, number two is you got to be more sexual, right? If you want to be edgy, you got to be more sexual. So even if you've made nothing but innocent music, even if you've starred in nothing but innocent movies, now you need a sex scene, right? Now you need to start revealing information about your sex life. Now your music needs to go from more so innocent music, maybe talking about puppy love and stuff like that. Now it needs to talk about fucking, okay? Now we need to talk about having sex. Now we need to talk about kinky stuff. And obviously, JoJo Siwa has done that. Hell, the other day, JoJo Siwa was rubbing herself on stage, underneath her clothes, rubbing on her kitty cat. So, right there, we have two things down pat. JoJo Siwa has gone more sexual, and JoJo Siwa has established herself as a 21-year-old drinker. But now comes the third part. You see, the third thing that you need to do in Hollywood or the music industry to establish yourself as now you're on your edgy streak is you have to have beef. You have to have feud. You have to have a feud with someone. You have to be at odds with someone. Well, when you look around, who in the hell is going to beef with JoJo Siwa? No one would even take her seriously, right? Well, JoJo Siwa has created beef. And this is where I step in because I have a problem. Now, up until now, I'm looking at JoJo Siwa's situation. Yeah, it's very cringy. I don't want to judge her too harshly because I don't feel like this is JoJo. I feel like this is JoJo's team kind of forcing her into being whatever she's become. But now she has started beef with literally the most unexpected person in the world. Like, you would honestly, your jaw would drop when you hear this. But you may already know. JoJo Siwa, instead of going out there and starting a feud or a beef with a fellow singer that's like her age, instead of starting a feud or beef with literally anyone else in the world, JoJo Siwa has gone after the woman who plays Chelsea in That's So Raven. Now, I'm a 90s baby. When I was growing up, if you liked something like JoJo Siwa, even if you were a girl, obviously boys wouldn't, but even if you were a girl and you were into something like JoJo Siwa, you would be clowned. You would be made fun of. You see, we grew up with That's So Raven, All That, Keenan and Kel, Lizzie McGuire. The list goes on. We didn't grow up with weird, lame like JoJo Siwa. JoJo Siwa. You would be laughed off the playground no matter what your gender was. And let me tell you right now, there was only 2 genders when I was growing up. But out of every person on God's green earth, the last person that I would expect for anyone to go after is this woman. Like, what did Annalise Vanderpool do to anyone? What did she do to anyone? I always found her to be very likable. You know, and oftentimes some of these like stars that are on the TV shows when you were a kid, they grow up and it's really tragic. Like what happened with Orlando Brown and what's going on with Orlando Brown from That's So Raven. Well, Annalise, I always found her to be likable. I feel like she was an underrated talent. I really feel like she deserved more roles. I wish we could have seen her in more things. And even though That's So Raven, it had a cast that, I mean, everyone brought it together, but I really feel like Annalise or Chelsea on the show, I felt like she was the glue. But recently, I guess maybe there has been a falling out between Annalise and Raven. I'm not so sure what's going on there. But Annalise has been speaking about it on TikTok or making little TikTok videos like the one that you're about to watch right now.
No, I can't laugh yet. I've got to hold it in.
Wow, if I had a nickel for every time I was doomed by a puppet, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, right?
Now, I'll be honest, I don't know too much about whatever's going on there with, you know, the Raven's Home show, whatever is going on between Raven and Annalise, but I guess Annalise was, you know, fired from the show. But at the end of the day, whatever issue is there is between Raven and Annalise. 2 grown-ass women, right? So the last thing they need is a little 20-something-year-old wannabe, a freaking poser, coming in and giving her 2 cents, which is what JoJo Siwa did. JoJo Siwa tried to insert herself in this situation and basically threw shade at Annalise and talked crap to Annalise on one of her TikTok videos. Here's what JoJo Siwa had to say. 6 seasons and now a spinoff. I think they're doing just fine. Also, look at your account. Your highest views come from talking about the show, Raven, as well. In which Annalise replies, highest views? Exactly. You're catching on. Now put some respect on my name, little girl. I walked so you could dance. I really like that reply. I really like that reply because it's true. Without people like Annalise, there would be no people like JoJo Siwa, which may be a good thing. Now, I love all of my 90s, early 2000s shows. I really liked That So Raven. I still watch That So Raven sometimes to this day. But when I'm sitting here, would I sacrifice That So Raven so I would never have to see JoJo Siwa again? I don't know. Is that a fair trade? I would almost be willing to make that trade, but I think I love the show That So Raven a little too much. And when it comes to JoJo Siwa, we're just going to have to laugh at her. We're just going to have to laugh at her every step of the way as she makes a fool of herself like she's doing right now because she done messed up. She done messed up. Now, the 12-year-olds who JoJo Siwa tries to appeal to, they don't know any better. They don't know That So Raven. They probably don't care. But us OGs, us 90s babies, us older folks who JoJo Siwa is now trying to appeal to, we have a problem with this. And I'll be damned if I let JoJo's lame ass come on here and start throwing shots at our 90s, early 2000s icons. We are not having it. We are simply not having it.
I was in rehab at like 15. I feel like this is not my biggest issue.
But as all of this is going on, JoJo Siwa's fans, yeah, she has fans, and yeah, most of them are like 11. They're concerned about JoJo's behavior lately. Because it was like a drastic switch, a drastic change in how she's been acting. And, you know, as humans, we all grow. We all grow as people. We all grow mature. We change a little bit throughout life. But usually there is a natural progression. It's not like you flip on a light switch and then one day you're different. Your personality is different. You're dressing different. You're talking and acting different. But that's what happened with JoJo Siwa. You see, most of JoJo Siwa's fans, they signed up to be fans of the old JoJo Siwa. They didn't sign up to watch this girl pretend to be drunk and pick fights with 90s and early 2000s Disney Channel stars. So people are growing concerned. And I don't know if concern is the right word to use for me, but as I'm watching this stuff play out, I can see the signs. I can see where this may be headed. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see JoJo Siwa just straight up crash out. I think that she may be the next Hollywood music industry show, basically. Because I think there's a pressure being put on her to change and act a certain way that she probably doesn't necessarily want to act. I think they're forcing her to be a character. And even if this girl doesn't have a breakdown sometime soon, which I think she very well could, in the future, we're going to hear, there's going to be a documentary about how JoJo Siwa was taken advantage of when she was young, and she never wanted to go through all of this. It's coming, folks. It's coming. And I'm telling you, I can sniff this stuff out. I can spot this stuff. And JoJo Siwa is like the number one contender for the next Hollywood train wreck. The next young Hollywood star that just crashes and burns. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I'm not wishing that upon her, but the signs are all there. And regardless if it happens or not, somewhere down the line, we're going to have to hear a sob story about all of the harsh things that JoJo Siwa went through as a young person in the music industry. But for now, I'm going to continue monitoring this situation, Let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. Did you grow up watching That So Raven? Let me know down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all soon in the next one.